get stuck in this rut, they should do what Lauren and I did. So we're going to the graveyard. I said, let's walk down these aisles and see a name that we like. Joe, you won't believe what we found, man. We can travel around the world. We can have new homes. I know you want more. We can make things happen. We can make it a better world. Come on, Joe, get up. No response. There's 2 dates on there. There's a birth date and a death date. The interesting thing is between every one of those birth dates and death dates, every single one of them, there's a dash. The question is, what are you going to do with the dash? Keep growing. I believe in you.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is doing amazing. We're coming to you live tonight to acknowledge some of our fastest growing on franchise owners in the field, moving and shaking, making magic happen with their business as they have accomplished the What Are You Going to Do with the Dash Challenge. Absolutely tremendous job by these individuals. As you can see on the screen, here's some of the criteria that they needed to hit within a 90-day period. And by the way, we're coming in for a landing on the challenge here. July 28th coming up. This coming Friday is the final day to qualify for What Are You Going to Do with the Dash Challenge. And I'm super excited to have each of these individuals join me on the line here tonight. We have Mr. Cliff on the line with us. We, of course, have Fred and Barb Bolt, and then we have Alexandra. And so, guys, we could not be more proud of each and every one of you for accomplishing this challenge, making things happen. And I'm just going to go round robin with you here tonight. Everybody on the line is just excited to hear from you guys and some of your experiences and so forth. So let's start off with probably the burning question for a lot of people. And we'll start with Alexandra, all the way, by the way, from Poland. She's tuning into us from Poland. Thank you for getting up at 3 a.m. to be on the session with us. But, you know, what was it, or why did you go for the What Are You Going to Do with the Dash Challenge?
Good evening, everyone. 3 o'clock in the morning in Poland. But why did I go to the challenge? You know, I always wanted to honoring JR by growing my business and to become director much faster. But doing this, you have to help a lot of people. And I remember JR on the stage in tears, how many times, because that was his dream. That was his dream, to fill the arena with the directors. And I just want to honor his legacy. That was always, I remember always, every time you email JR, he always answered you. He did everything for us. So that's why, how could I not go for this challenge? So for me, it's, you know, honor his legacy. That was my thing.
All right, fantastic. Fred and Barb Bolt, let's jump over to you two.
Well, thanks. We're coming in from out in the boondocks in northern Wisconsin. I hope everybody can catch us and hear us here. So we hope to be having a clear presentation. Well, from my opinion, is that I still have a lot of goals and dreams and things to still accomplish. We're not at the end of where we want to go yet. And also, we want to continue and expand our Market America business so that we can honor J.R. Ridinger, as Alex said, for this amazing one-of-a-kind business that we've never seen before, that I've never seen before. But the premise is that you have to help other people achieve their dreams before you can achieve your dreams. And that's the reason we're going for the challenge. Barb?
Thanks, Fred. All right. Challenges, it's what we do. That's it. Especially this one. What you need to realize is JR knew us, and JR knows and knew each and every one of you. I can remember going up to him after one of the galas. We've actually achieved the President's Challenge over 7 times. One of the times we went up to him and I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, JR, I am and he looked at me and he said, I know who you are. You're Fred and Barb Bolt. And that just blew me away that he knew us.
He knows everybody.
And so each and every one of you, he knew you. He might not know your name, but he knew who you were. And so he said, and then he sent me several emails, and each one of them always ended with, keep growing. I believe in you. So when this challenge came out, it wasn't even a question. It's what we had to do for JR, but not just JR, for the corporate team, for Lauren and everyone in our team, so that if we can achieve it, they can do it.
I love that. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. All right, Cliff, how about you, sir?
Yeah, guys, thank you so much, Colin. Appreciate the opportunity. And, to be on this call with 4 of you legends, absolutely blessed. And, Cliff here representing from Team Flushadelphia in the house. So, yeah, super honored to be here. But honestly, guys, I mean, Barb said it best, you know what I mean? It's all about going for the challenges. So, that's just how, I was kind of raised in this business, was like, you have to push yourself and go for challenges. So for me personally, I didn't really know that the Dash was happening at first. I was going for the President's Challenge, which is a little daunting. You know what I mean? I'd never hit it before. And, but I bought my 7 tickets and I was like, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm going to make it happen. And then when the Dash, when it came to that the Dash was happening, I was just like, honestly, it was a little bit easier, if I'm being truthful. I don't want to say easy, but maybe more attainable in my eyes. But yeah, it's all about the growth, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And, I think a lot of times, like for anyone out there that, maybe went for some challenge or is going for some challenges, regardless of whether you hit it, you're going to do your best work when you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, but being able to celebrate JR's legacy and really make this happen, it's an absolute blessing for sure.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So Cliff, let's circle back with you. I'm going to have you go first on this one. And on this one, why don't you share everybody will share what your background is, like as you're getting introduced to the unfranchised, because I think it's always cool for people to connect occupation, with where people are coming from. But in going for the challenge, I'm sure everything was just like perfect. No challenges, no obstacles, because everything's perfect. Lawn's manicured perfect. Never run out of milk in the fridge, almond milk, of course, whatever it might be. Isotonics, we never run out. It's perfect. But if there was a challenge, was there a challenge you had to overcome in order to just keep persevering to hit the challenge? And by the way, one key point, Cliff, and the chairman's challenge, like sponsor 6. All right. So but that's in like a 6-month period. So it's like a 3-month period. You still had to sponsor 3. So by the way, you were still on track to hit it. So it really wasn't easier, but in our minds, it was a 90-day blitz though. Right. So of course you hit the ground running. So I just want to make sure that congrats on that. You know what I'm saying? So you're on it, dude. It's all great.
For sure. Thank you, man. So you want to start with the background real quick, you said?
Yeah. Hit your background real quick and then segue into that question.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. So my background originally was in graphic design. I loved that industry. I worked in it, just a few short years out of college, and I love being creative, but at the job I was in, it just wasn't paying very well. So I went back into the service industry. So I've been working for many years as a service technician for a small carpet cleaning company. So, labor intensive job and everything like that. So, when I was introduced to this business, it was absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's been incredible ever since. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's not always an easy ride. It's not smooth sailing. I would say I spent many years not taking the business seriously, which I would not recommend. Treat it like a real business right off the bat, and it'll pay you as such. So yeah, for me, in terms of challenges with the challenge, I would say that, first of all, I was a little bit unclear. Like, I didn't know how much time I had. So I was say, because I thought the clock started like as soon as you bought your tickets or something like that. So I thought, I felt like very under the gun, but my biggest challenge was the BV. Honestly, if I'm being truthful, I managed to get the recruits out of the way. But the 3,000 BV was tough for me. I do not have as many customers as I would like to have yet. So it was a little bit of a push, but honestly, I think, you know, you ask yourself the right questions, like, how can I make this happen? What do I need to do? So I just started reaching out to people and letting them know, like, hey, like, I'm going for a challenge, you know, I'm super close, you know, really involving them and saying, like, would you be open to, you know, trying a product one time, you know, supporting me, trying this out. And I just went across the line to everybody, managed to get it, you know, did place some orders for myself, and hey, you know, I'm able to sample out and write it off and everything else. So that was the biggest challenge for me, and it pushed me, you know, so I'm only better for it. So yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Hey, I love that. I love that. You know, that's perfect, because these are the tips that you know, again, everybody thinks people with the challenge is like everything is perfect, but that was out of your comfort zone, but you still made it happen. See, so that's what it's all about. All right, let's go to Fred and Barbolt with the same question. So give everybody a little snippet on your background, and then, you know, any obstacle you had to overcome.
So I'm a teacher, was a teacher for many years. But the main thing is I'm focused on, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, and I'm a grandmother of 11. And almost all of them are here right now, outside, waiting to come in the house. So just understand, it's so important that you schedule, because time, if you wait, all of a sudden it's the end of the day and you say, oh, what did I do today? And it's nothing. So again, getting that schedule down. So I usually schedule XYZ, so it's done. And then the rest of my week or my day is free. So what really helped me to stay focused is being on the accountability team. Was blessed that Jim Winkler asked me to be part of his team, understanding Jim and I, Fred, are not part of the same organization. I was with Arlene Lowy and Norm Roth, but he asked us to be on. And boy, being on accountability team keeps you focused, but not only that, it helps your team be focused, because this is a team thing. It is not about Fred and I or Cliff or Alexis. It's not. It's about your team, because if your team's not growing, you're stagnant. So the obstacle was focusing and getting the time done.
My background is education also. I'm a former school administrator, principal of a school for many years. And as a matter of fact, Norm Roth was one of my athletic directors, and he's the one that introduced us to Market America. One of the things I find that's challenging for me anyway is that, as Barb mentioned, we have a large family. And with a large family, we have so many activities and things going on and events and this and that and everywhere. And we want to be with our kids and our family and be part of that. However, we would not be able to do that unless Market America was something that we had going for us. So my challenge was to always go back and focus on the Market America challenges, because those are the things that have allowed us to be with our family and friends more time, more often. And so I would suggest that, you know, follow the challenges, keep focused on it, and don't let your everyday life cause you not to participate in the challenges, because that life will expand dramatically if you go for the challenges and achieve them.
Well said. Thank you. All right, Alexandra, how about you?
How about me? So I'm gonna have very similar with Barb, right? So like we talk about the schedule. Look, for me, I have honestly, for the 90 days, I really have a lot of obstacles. Even sometimes people say, oh my gosh, Alex, you travel so much, Alex. But guess what? I have, because I'm from Poland, right? And by the way, a little bit about me, my background, 18 years ago, I came to US from hotel management to a beauty school. And so I am a former nail salon owner. So I always knew that I only have, you know, money when I have my last client, right? If I travel, so here you are. But guess what? 9 years ago, I closed my salon. I moved to Florida. But now when you are in Florida, everyone wants to visit you. So my biggest thing was, my father came. Listen, I'm not complaining, right, that my family and friends came, but this is a schedule. You have a challenge. But if your friend's coming, your father is coming, you want to go for vacation, you want to do something with them, you don't want to be stressed, you know, every time in front of the computer. But I have to be focused. I have to be like, what do you want me to do? What it has to be done? So creating a schedule, right? I have to listening every day. I was like, all right, keep my mind grow. So I have to, you know, listening video, audio, and do it stuff. With retail, I was okay, right? Follow up with my customer, but guess what? You still have to do your calls. You still have to talk to your customer. You still have to do those things. And it's the time. So you really have to find those time. And as well, you know, life is gonna bite you. Life is like a roller coaster, like myself right now, I'm in this position. But you know what? Hang out with the positive people. You know, it's gonna be the time. Go to your upline, go to, even I know, Colin, thank you so much. I know I even came to you, right? And sometimes when people even see you on Facebook, you always smile, you're always full of energy. But guess what, guys? How about behind the screen? You don't know what's happening in someone's life. So even for me, I have a lot of obstacles, even right now, right? Like I'm right now in Poland, but it's a focus. This is what JR was always saying, right? Stay focused and just do it. And like really hang out with the positive people.
Yeah, beautifully said. Thank you.
I like that.
So I'm going to throw an extra question in here, and it doesn't have to be a super long answer, but if you had to pick out, Fred and Barb, I'll start with you guys, but if you had to pick out what would be like the hottest thing you have going right now, like top tip kind of thing, like, so everybody on the line's wondering, like, what seems to be the best traction? You know, is it product intro first? Is it a tool within product intro? Is it are you leading with the business? What would be the top tip that is really getting you a lot of traction right now in your business?
Well, for me, it would be the ERC is going very well, and I think people should concentrate on that more. We had a great seminar last night, a webinar with Alberti and on the whole group there. The other thing is just the phenomenal results that our products are giving people.
So for me, again, I'm going back to focusing in the system. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we have a text workshop. We had 9 on Tuesday, and we're going to have 12 on tomorrow. And we give them a job. This is what you need to do. We've got 30 minutes text out. And now actually, while I'm doing this, my team is doing a wellness. Every Wednesday, we have a wellness. So we do a text workshop into the wellness, into the health survey, see product consults. I do that. And then getting people with what they need. But again, it's all individualized. It's meeting people where they're at and then bringing in the business. Can you get it at cost? And that is working phenomenal for us.
Love that. Thank you. Perfect. Alexandra, how about you?
Oh
Top
my
tip.
God. Hot tip, retail. For me, it's a retail because when you know, listen, even I'm right now, right, in Poland, but guess what? Today we have amazing training with Dr. Tamara, right, with Dr. D. So for me, it's if you know what you have, if you're attending the training, right, even look, you couldn't be at 7 o'clock, but you still can watch on our Facebook those video. And if you know the product, you listen what your people complain. And you just matching, you just recommending products to them. And you only just say, hey, this is what I have. It might help you if you're willing to try. Even for me, being in Poland, I sold a few products for my customer because they need people, they're really desperate. And we have so many great products, and this product works. You don't need to be ashamed of this product. That's why I love retail, because I'm not pushing to my customer. I'm just helping them. I just listen what people want. That's it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like it. Cliff, how about you, buddy? Top tip.
Honestly, I love what all these guys are saying. It's so great. And I think retail is an area that I'm definitely looking to improve. And, you know, the fact that I'm speaking it into existence, it's definitely going to happen. But for me, man, I love leading with the business. Truthfully, I feel like this company is just so incredible. We have something that no one else ever has. And I think that really comes across in my message when I speak to people. And I think there's just such a need for it right now, guys. I mean, the fact that we have, you know, a company that we can stand behind, and we know we're going to be here years and years and years from now to be able to support people. So I absolutely love leading with that. I love getting people to these events and getting around the energy of the team, of the company, and, you know, just building that belief. And it's just, to me, that's so powerful. So I love recruiting. So I always lead with the business, and that's where I'm at right now. So that's it.
Love that. Love that. And are you just asking people to evaluate what you're up to? Or are you more direct with people like, hey, you'd be great at this, or does it depend on who you're approaching?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, honestly. I mean, recently I have been on a little bit of a run where I have just been asking people to evaluate, very, low pressure. Kind of like I just let them know I'm still I'm still in challenge mode. Hey, I'm trying to hit a challenge. Would you check this out for me? Even if it's not for you, no big deal, but there's some exciting things happening. I think you would really like to take a look at what we got going on. And obviously other people, we definitely, I'm a little bit more direct in terms of like, hey, I think you'd be great at this, if not, if not, no big deal either way,
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. So, what's amazing is, and I'm sure everybody on the line's picking up on this, but everything's rattling off everyone's tongue here, you guys. And you can tell that they're living the business and the time that they're working the business and just always open to the opportunities, which is a key to attending trainings and continuing to practice and get better and better and better so you can field the questions and not be nervous about what's going on. So, all right, Alexandra, let's go to you. So what would be the number one lesson? If you had to pick one lesson, and I know this is a very tough question for all of you, but if you had to pick one lesson that, you took from JR, from stage, or, maybe an audio you listened to, whatever it might be, that's helped serve you very well in your business or even in, and in your personal life, what would that be?
There is too many. Exactly. There is too many lessons, and I love listening, JR. But right now, I remember a few years ago at the convention, the story with the tightrope, that was for me huge. Because JR will say failure, it's not an option. Because people, they really expecting, because I remember even when I started the business, people, they were laughing at me. How much money do you make? What do you have, right? So people, they really expecting you to fail. They waiting, right? Like, are you going to fail or not? Are you going to succeed or not? They waiting. And if you do, guess what? Right? So I said, so you have to believe in yourself, right? You have to, he always, even JR always say, saying and demonstrating, right? Saying or demonstrating. So this is it, even with challenges. For me, I want to demonstrate. Yes, I want to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it this, right? So believe in yourself, and failure, it's not an option. This is it. I'm just going to push myself, even right now with the hard situation, but I'm just pushing myself. So for me, the failure, it's not an option. That's strong.
Perfect. Love it. All right, Cliff, let's jump over to you, buddy.
So something I learned from JR that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Top lesson,
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean, I think it's the, that kind of ongoing quote that he says that, you must succeed so that everyone else can believe, and like, that's just always kind of rings in my head. And it's just so true because it's just such a powerful statement because it's the truth. You have to put yourself in a position to win so that others can actually believe you can do it. And honestly, like, I try to live that not only for my team and the people that are looking up to me, the people that, I brought on board and are, waiting for the things to happen. But outside of that, it's the same with my kids, I mean, it's the same exact lesson that I'm trying to portray because, I just think it comes across so powerful. And, I mean, JR has so many powerful lessons, but I think the main thing, man, is just how emotional he is when he speaks, and how his emotion comes through in his words. And he means it, I mean, I just don't know too many other CEOs that will get on stage and bow to the crowd and talk with emotion and have tears in his eyes. And, he'll definitely be missed, man. I mean, beyond belief, I mean, when I first saw him, I thought he was nuts, but, he's a friggin' genius. And, it's so many lessons from him, but that's the biggest one, man, just, succeed.
Yeah, well said.
Believe.
Well said. Authenticity of who he was and being in the moment with us and just sharing his heart, playing it 100%. So how can we not play it 100%, right? Yeah, nicely said. So, all right, Barb and Fred.
Well, I think one of the big things that JR always said is, never give up, stay focused, those sorts of phrases he always used. And one thing I remember him saying is never become a victim. And because being a victim has no virtue, none at all. And you're the creator of your current position in your life. No one else created it but you. It's the decisions you've made your entire life that put you where you are right now. If you don't have joy right now, it's time to move. And Market America can help you do that.
I like that, Fred. That was really good.
That was hot.
So,
Come on.
Never quit. JR always said, do not quit. You know, he talks about walking up a mountain, and you'll never know what it is like to be at the top of the mountain, to look down and see where you've come from. And, you know, everyone has stuff. I mean, God bless you, Alex, because everyone has stuff, but it's how we get over and through the stuff and through the fire who makes us who we are. So I thank JR for his mentorship, but not only his, Lauren, the team, they have our back, and I know it. And that we have to just embrace it, because they're always there for us and our team's team. So, I mean, embrace your ups and downs, because it just makes you a better you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So as we round this out, as we know, we have our International Convention 2023 coming up in Greensboro, North Carolina. And for anybody on the line who doesn't know, I mean, North Carolina is where it was all started, you know, with JR's vision and Lauren and pushing them, saying, okay, big boy, you've got this idea. So like, let's make it happen. Let's revolutionize, you know, the way people get paid. Right. But we're going to be going there for International Convention here in just a few short weeks, coming up here on August 24th through the 27th. And it's hard to describe to somebody, you know, what it's like to be at an international convention, but as best you can, you know, tell us what a ticket meant to you when you went to your first convention or major event, and how it impacted you as far as propelling your business forward, and why people, you know, should go. You know, no compromise, all in on your why, your goal statement, all of that, right? So Cliff, let's go ahead and start with you on this one.
Yeah, so honestly, guys, there's no other place to be. If we're being honest, I know there's definitely some resistance out there sometimes to go, and, you know, people going out of their comfort zone. But, you know, it was said to me, I mean, it's literally the only shortcut to success is to get into the event, you know, selling tickets, getting people to the events. That's where the belief is made. You know, that's where you get belief in the company and the team you're with, and yourself. You know, really being able to learn from everyone in the company, all of you guys, you know, that pour into us, you know, we all come together at this magical event. And, you know, guys, I mean, I think the one thing to understand too is this is the first event in North Carolina without JR. You know, just this time last year, JR was alive and well, and we're, you know, sharing for the 30th anniversary, and it was absolutely incredible. And you know, since then, I think Lauren has really come into her own, and, you know, she really holds the reins in terms of, like, you know, leading this company, you know, and leading it with passion and emotion and heart. So it's really, guys, it's something that you have to be there in person to see. You know, it's kind of like taking a little video of a concert or fireworks. It never looks good. You got to be there in person. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to really get it. And, you know, one other thing, I mean, someone told me, just, you know, you never miss a major event, never miss an event, period. But, you know, you want to be successful, you just never miss an event, no matter what. And, you know, we want to be paid, you know, like professionals. We have to do the things professionals do. We show up to these events, and, you know, it's not work, man. I mean, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life, going to these events. So, you know, decisions are made. I made the decision at a major event to finally take ownership of my business and actually make it happen. So that's where it's going to happen for you. There's going to be tons of magic moments. It's going to be incredible. So you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and on one little side note here, it was awesome to see your kids at the Philly seminar that I was up there doing for you guys. I mean, just even of having them in the environment, you know, I always say get people, let alone your kids, on the freeway of great things to happen. They're bound to get run over by great things. So kudos to you to, you know, bring your kids along for the ride, dude. That's how I know you're on your way to director. So
thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, Alexandra, how about you?
I remember my first conference and I couldn't afford it. And I remember when Bonnie was pushing me, Alex, you need to go there. And I can tell you, just came back from Sweden, a lot of again obstacles. And I think, I remember it was like 2 weeks before the convention, I decided to go because Bill said, my husband, you go. We just spent a lot of money. And before we used to live in New Hampshire. So guess what? Hotel and a flight and food. And but that was the magic moment. Plus, guys, remember, I started and my English wasn't good enough. So for me, when I got it, only not everything. I think, Colin, I was telling you the last time, I only understand. I saw JR running on the stage. I was trying to make a note and I'm like, what this guy is talking about? But but I was, guys, I got the concept. I believe that was huge. And then guess what? I was opening my salon. I was very successful. And even I invested a lot of money in this salon, but I have to go and find people. I couldn't just sit and waiting when people gonna show up. And after a year, when people from my school came to me and said, Alex, how did you do this? You're always busy at your salon. How did you do this? And I said, convention. When people ask you, what did you, how do you know those stuff? It's a convention. Why? You learn from positive people. You learn from successful people, especially right now. You learn the technology. You learn marketing. You learn about product. How did you know those things? Alex, why do you sell so many products? Guys, it's a convention. I never miss convention. Never. So this is the secret, and it's only $250 for the convention. Do you know how much money costs right now all those training around the world? To go just to listening, they pump you with it's kind of, I'm not gonna say those names because I go with Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk and others, I can just name it. But guess what? You go for 2-3 days of the training, you spend a lot of money. Yes, you are motivated, but you're leaving without tools. Here, guys, you have everything. The only thing is you have to just show up, learn, and apply. That's it. So the secret here, it's go for the convention. If you don't go, you're not gonna go.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. All right, Fred and Barb Bolt.
Okay, so I'm going back to the first thing you asked. It's what we do. This is what we do. This is our job. This is our job, but it's not a journey of the broke. This is just what we do. All right. We keep growing. We keep going. And again, it's going back to what JR said is focusing. It's the belief. It is just going and doing what we need to do. This company has been such a blessing and a gift to Fred and I and our family and our grandchildren. Honestly, Fred and I, 28.5 years, and we're still going. So there must be something there for us to keep going. All right. And keep growing. And we're content. I mean, we love the business. I mean, it's just what we do. This business is not just any business. This is a business that changes lives physically, financially, and you get to be part of that gift. So you need to be at convention.
My first convention, Colin, was Tyson's Corners, Virginia, back in the 1900s. Okay. And I have to say that any legitimate business in the United States today has its employees go to conventions, go to trainings, go to seminars, and educate and recertifying themselves for the profession they're in. This is what ICON and the conventions are for Market America. We go there to get our updates, we get renewed, we learn from professionals that have done this before so that we can implement those things in our daily lives with this company. So there is your recertification, if you will.
Wow. Well said, Fred and Barb, and each of you. I just want to also end by saying, again, a huge congratulations, Cliff, Fred and Barb, Alexandra, way to lead from the front. And, and it was said earlier in this, and JR talks a lot about the staircase or getting to the top of the mountain. And it's a lot easier when you can get up to the top and then you can pull people up with you and make it happen. But a lot of people are trying to push people from the bottom, right? When you got to go first. And so and you guys are all leading and going first. And that's really what it takes is mentally first to say, I'm willing to lead and become a leader, because we're always becoming a leader. It's not like an end destination. We're always stepping into a leadership role. And we live in a world today that people are looking for somebody with leadership to take them by the hand and say, I got you. If you follow our Getting Started guide, if you follow our steps, if you follow everything you're going to learn at International Convention, we know it can work for you too. The question is, are you going to be teachable and coachable and follow our proven unfranchised system? And that's really what it's all about. So congratulations to each and every one of you for leading by example. We cannot wait to see all of you and everybody on the line, anybody watching this session, make sure you took some notes on this, implement this into your business, and watch how some great things start to happen. But remember, we got to believe in ourselves. That's another reason why you have to be at International Convention. We're going to say bye for tonight and close it out with a short video. Please stay on the line if you haven't seen the video. It's absolutely awesome. Just talking a little bit about International Convention. And I just want to congratulate each and every one of you guests who were on the line with us here tonight to learn more about our unfranchised system. And if you're an unfranchised owner, I hope you got in the wheelbarrow and you're ready to go across that tightrope across Niagara Falls like Alexandra was talking about, because International Convention is going to be absolutely out of this world. And you are going to learn some things that will help elevate you in your personal life, let alone your business or whatever job or occupation you do. You're going to steal stuff that's going to make you more valuable in the marketplace. I guarantee it. I've been with the company for 24 years. My wife, Trinity, and I, we've been blessed to be full-time parents of our 5 kids for over 22 years of those 24 years, 25 years in the business, because the system works, but we're 100% committed because of those 5 kids. So I just want to encourage each and every one of you to get with the person who invited you on the line and see if they can get you a ticket. If they don't have a ticket, scan the QR code and get yourself a ticket and make it happen. Thank you for joining us here tonight.